Hi, I'm the Alchemist Astrologer, and this is your April reading for Gemini Sun, Gemini Rising, and Gemini Moon. So we're going to be looking at life, love, and money. So the general influence during this time, and of course since this is life, it's going to affect both love and money, is taking stock of something. You are examining where you've invested. Could be emotionally, financially, time-wise. You could be taking stock of your assets. Maybe, actual stocks you've purchased, royalties, anything where you've planted a seed and you're waiting for that harvest, that yield. Could even be an actual garden. So you're looking at something and you're having to have a lot of patience. It may be an excruciating wait for that return, or you could have planted something and it just took off. You without much effort, received some kind of gain. So you're looking at that across the board. Your relationships, your work, your time, how it's spent, and does it produce? And again, you're going to have some patience. If you're not getting the results you want, you may feel like you want to quit. There could be some questions about, well, should you give it a little bit more time? Is it going to produce what you want it to? You also have the card of abundance. So maybe there's a lot of waiting, a lot of examination, or again, you're looking at abundance. And what does that mean to you? Is it quantity or quality? So you're taking stock of situations, and at the crux of it is gift. Now maybe you're looking at your gifts, your innate gifts, or maybe you're looking at purchases that you've made, how much money you've spent on stuff. This could be anything of value. Maybe you're looking at what kind of reward you're going to get. Maybe you're looking at what you're giving. Maybe this is about a donation or a contribution. Maybe it's money. Maybe you have items that you want to get rid of. You have too much stuff. Some of you, this is about the long term. You're looking at issues connected to legacies or inheritance or generosity, whether that's a kind word or some financial backing or waiting on some news. So there is a focus on abundance. Now, what is the outcome as far as the life influence? You have this Four of Cups. So, the Four of Cups is about looking at opportunities that appear. Sometimes missing opportunities or being apathetic about what's on offer. There's a passive energy to this Four of Cups in other decks. But this is a period where you're now taking action. You've made the decision about whether you like what's on offer. And either you've turned it down, you don't want it, you're actively working to say no, or you're taking what you've been given and, in effect, watering the ground, setting the stage for the next level, taking what you have and expanding upon that to grow. Now, for some of you, you're pouring out your feelings about something. Maybe you're taking stock of that. You're pouring out your feelings about how you feel about something. Or again, you're taking some kind of gift or resource that you have, and you're using it to grow, whether for yourself or for others. Your advice is take the risk. So, you're doing a lot of waiting and examining, but maybe you're waiting too much because the advice is for you to take the risk. Maybe you're taking stock of the risk factor. Now, for relationships, your romantic, love, or otherwise, you're experiencing some kind of rebirth. So your relationships are changing in some way for the positive. Maybe you're taking stock of how to revive a relationship. You're connections could be undergoing some kind of positive transformation, or you're making some positive changes as a result of a relationship. Maybe there's a renewal of some sort, a reconnection. If you're not with somebody, perhaps you are stepping out there. You're re-entering the dating scene. You're socializing. You want to put yourself out there. Maybe you're changing your image, changing your appearance, changing the way you relate. But this is a metamorphosis of the way you're thinking and engaging with others. You've made a decision to renew some aspect of your love life, your relationship, and maybe it's in the pursuit of pleasure. Maybe you're seeking pleasure. You've made a decision you want to go out, socialize. Maybe you're going to go to a party, or you're hanging out with friends. Maybe this is 3 of you. So this is also about taking risks and new experiences that will offer you some kind of success as far as relationships. And how is this all going to turn out for you? You have this Page of Cups. So this is some new feelings. Could be a new acquaintance, new love. It could be you feeling differently about something. If you're renewing a relationship or changing it in some way, it could be you're involved with someone and you feel like you can take this relationship to the next level. Maybe you started off as friends, it's becoming romantic, or maybe you're changing your current relationship for something better. You're remembering the reasons that you first got involved. You're rediscovering your love for this person. Whatever this is, you're on shifting sands, though. There are changes that may be unsettling. Now, maybe you're pouring out your feelings, or things are coming up by surprise that you hadn't anticipated. Maybe you've got some ideas, some enthusiasm that's generating these changes. But this is also a fish out of water. So you may feel out of sorts, unsettled, uncomfortable, ultimately, about whatever these changes are. So something has been moving in a direction one way, and now, because of whatever reason, there's a change of course. Your advice card is start over. So again, you may be starting over in a relationship, or maybe you ended one and you're starting over yourself. You're coming out of your cocoon and you've changed. You're spreading your wings. You're socializing more. You're connecting to others. Now, what's going on with your money situation? Well, the Hangman card is related to what's going on, and this is a lot of waiting. So April is a month where you're really waiting, taking stock of things. There's not a lot of movement taking place as far as your finances. For some of you, this is an emphasis more on the spiritual, the internal, as opposed to the material world. Maybe you're taking stock of, the things that you have around you and what that's worth, and you want to rebirth relationships. You're not so much concerned for the material. The focus for you is gaining some enlightenment and developing maybe your spiritual life or a greater connection to those around you. You're having to change your perspective about something, see it differently. And maybe you're looking at the sacrifices that have been made. Maybe if you were a workaholic, you sacrifice your personal connections. So you may be looking at whether greater sacrifice is needed. Again, maybe you're giving things away, giving to charity. So if there's a sacrifice that's called for the greater good, you may decide to give up something as far as monetary. Or you may be looking at, where you've been making unnecessary sacrifices and whether there's been a return on that investment. So you're looking at things differently, and you're having to try a fresh approach to either career or money. This says that, you need to look within for some answers about how you haven't been seeing things clearly. Perhaps you've been swindled or deceived in some way. Maybe you've done that to others. There have been some ill-gotten gains. Or maybe, you deceived yourself by not wanting to have clarity. For some of you, perhaps your money is tied to situations that have to do with the less fortunate. Maybe you're involved in a charity or hospitals or institutions. Some of you, your money may be tied to social services. For some of you, maybe you are investing stocks in oil or art, or you have a profession related to art like music or painting or photography or film. Some of you, your money may be tied to interests that are connected to water, shipping. So whatever it is, you could be changing your mind about some aspect of a situation tied to finances. Maybe you're trying to change someone's mind, or somebody has changed your mind. There could be a reversal. Maybe you're giving back something, or something is coming back to you. So you also have empowerment. So maybe you're waiting to gain empowerment, or you're taking a different view of what actual personal empowerment means. Again, you're looking within for answers. For some of you, maybe you're recuperating, and that's made an impact on your ability to earn, or you're having to care for others. So there could be some changes taking place where you're seeking greater empowerment or waiting for it to happen. At the crux of it is some kind of reunion. So you may be waiting to connect with others, to collaborate, to partner. You're also, again, looking at those sacrifices of your partnerships, whether there's been loyalty or honesty, or what the conditions have been for support and friendship. Now, what is the final outcome with regard to your financial situation? You have this 10 of Pentacles. So for some of you, again, this ties back to the spiritual. You are valuing your connection to home and family. The wisdom that maybe you can impart to your loved ones. Maybe what you're going to pass along to your children. There could be an actual inheritance, or this could be an inheritance of wisdom. Could be you're focused on an innate gift, some inherited talent, maybe from a past life that you're developing. So you're still looking at the value of things and maybe looking at the details. Your children may have an impact or an influence or something from your own childhood. So this is about loyalty, devotion, whether you're willing to go above and beyond for those that you care about, and vice versa. If not, there could be issues surrounding money that leads to estrangement or breaking away from the establishment, doing something different, conflicts over money and wealth. Now, the advice is dig deeper. So you have this going within to take a fresh approach, looking at your money, your approach to finances, your relationship with money or career, or what you're doing with your life path. The advice is to dig deeper, to search for answers, to find the truth, and perhaps to search for empowerment where you may not be so happy with a particular circumstance. Maybe you need to look deeper at your alliances. So the underlying energy would be the cards on the bottom. This is what's inside that's driving the outer activity. You have the Four of Pentacles, the Death card, and the Three of Wands. So you may be discussing business or property, or you may be closing off to discussions that are intense. Some of you, you're holding on to something. Could be you're holding on to something for dear life. Maybe you're focused on some kind of large transaction that ties to property or business. But there is some kind of change taking place, a transformation. Again, you have this rebirth. But this may come through some kind of stress or crisis. Again, could be serious illness, surgery, could be shared assets, psychological changes, could be taxes, debts, inheritance. legacies, wills. But whatever it is, you are meant to take this cautious approach to explore opportunity with your feet firmly on the ground, protecting your assets, being careful, but beware of being too money-oriented, too material-oriented. You're being urged to go within to become more spiritual. And so there could be this focus that becomes selfishness or greed if you're not careful. It's also a pessimism, a fear that you're going to be exploited. And so you may be holding on to something, counting every penny if there's a poverty consciousness, and fearing that you may have to share. So you may turn your back on the world, though, consequently. There may be an agent of change that brings about some kind of transformation. You could be involved in discussions, negotiations, travel, with an eye toward the future. So again, maybe you're focused on your investments, what you can give away, what you're going to leave to your children, your long-term future. So for some of you, you really have to focus on your responsibilities and obligations that are in the here and now that will lead you to the future that you want. Some of you, there's a strong tie to a Capricorn or a Scorpio person. So again, transactions, discussions that tie to assets rocking the boat. You're needing to examine your value system. You're taking stock of situations and what they're worth, what they're going to return to you, and whether holding on to them is really costing you more trouble than they're worth. You also have the Moon card, boldness and hope. So again, this is about seeing things clearly in areas where you previously have not. If there have been some secrets, some deception, those things are going to come to light. You're being asked to examine, to go within some past conditioning, old habit patterns, ways of being that may have developed in childhood and even beyond in other lives. You are meant to be vigilant, to examine the truth in all things right now. You may feel some emotional mood swings. You may feel depression or anxiety or stress. You may feel out of sync with others. You're having to sift through your emotions to get to the truth, to go within, to use your intuition and any psychic guidance that you are given. And sometimes that may mean that you have to take a break. You have to step back from a situation and find a pleasant distraction that will calm your mind so that you can find answers that you seek. Maybe somebody has boldly, put an untruth out there. Maybe you have done that. You're having to tread lightly, but something is being put out into the open. Perhaps a secret is being revealed, or you're hoping that something is going to come out. You may have some false hopes about something, or some blind faith. So again, you're having to look at where there's been some deception on your part, the part of others, where you've deceived yourself. This may tie to travel, domestic affairs, children, maternal figures, psychological issues. But there is change. Something about your situation is in flux. It's not settled. There are ups and downs to it. But there's still hope. You're hoping that there's going to be some positive reward for your faith and for your patience. But that means you're going to have to dig deeper to get to that truth. Now, you have this 4. You have a couple of 4s here. So there's a strong focus on stability, security. The moon is all about security issues, that comfort and nurturance that we receive. So for some of you, again, this ties strongly to your place in the world, your status as an authority figure, dealing with authority, your career, your value system, long-range goals and plans that affect your destiny. And you're closing out some kind of cycle, something that ties to, again, your value system, your reaches for success. And some of this is going to come through intense experiences. You may have to start over in some areas, dig deeper to get some answers, and consider the risk factor that's involved.